Massive congratulations to PSG for being able to sustain their championship in Europe. The best club in Europe, for being able to sustain it. It is not actually something small. You understand? It is not easy because it is not any club that can do it. Outside Real Madrid that did it, PSG is the second club to do it. So it is not something easy. And it is not even something that any coach can even do. So a very big shout out to Luis Enrique. Pep Guardiola cannot do it. You understand? It takes speciality for you to be able to break a history as strong as winning UEFA Champions League back to back 2 times in a row. Not to talk of winning it 3 times in a row. So I must give a good shout out. In fact, a massive shout out to PSG. Like, they actually did well. They had a wonderful performance and they deserve this winning. They deserve it more than Arsenal, because Arsenal came into the game for them to defend and then probably hope for an attack. That's whenever attack comes, they will use it and then score against PSG. But PSG came out to play their game, that like their normal game. They came out prepared, you understand, to face Arsenal 50-50. But Arsenal was busy panicking. They were busy panicking all the way from playing middle block down to low block against PSG. One of the club in Europe that has the best attackers, the best strikers. You want to go and play low block against them. Not just playing low block against these people, but you have to start it very, very early. Towards the ending of the first half, Arsenal have started defending. Down to the second half, Arsenal was still defending. I was like, Mikel Arteta, are you with your senses? Like, at this very point in time, is your mind still functioning? Because this is PSG, for crying out loud. You cannot defend against them like that. The best form of defense is to attack PSG. Then you chase them back to their home instead of you inviting them to your side. By doing that, it is a risky. It is very, very risky for you to do such a thing, which you did, and then at the end they were able to equalize your goal. That is very bad. I have to blame Mikel Arteta for that alone. I have to blame him. Like, his reasoning at that very point in time was very, 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 very poor and bad. You cannot defend against PSG like that. Even if you are to defend, pick up that defending from 70 minutes up, 75 minutes or even 80 minutes. If you had noticed it, when PSG equalized the game, Arsenal had to come out to play their normal ball, and then they became a threat to PSG. Immediately they came out, they became a threat. PSG started struggling, and then the game started changing. The trajectory of the game started changing to the extent that PSG, even though they kept on dominating, but the dominance reduced to a reasonable extent, because Arsenal is now out to play too instead of defending. I wonder what these guys were thinking that you can defend against PSG for up to 45 minutes without you committing an error, without PSG scoring you, or without you scoring an own goal. There are some clubs that you don't defend against. You see the like of Manchester City, you see the like of Bayern Munich, you see the like of PSG. You don't defend against these people. So you get the point. You don't defend against them. Defending against them means that they will definitely commit you. They will commit you, and then once that happens, they will take over the game. Like, they will then be the one to dictate the game for you. That was the number one issue that Mikel Arteta had. Not just an issue, but the fault which he failed to correct, to take care of. And he contributed towards Arsenal not winning this UEFA Champions League. They were very close to it. They have never won it before, and then they were very, very close to it. But 1 or 2 mistakes happened, and then they couldn't get it. It's very bad. It's very, very pathetic. And then it also means that Arsenal hasn't gotten to some level. Like, there's a level that Arsenal still need to upgrade to for them to be able to handle this title. Because their players were panicking. These people, they have not been in the big stage before. Like, they have not played final before. There are players that are already used to playing finals. Understand? That pressure that you get when playing finals, many Arsenal players have not even tested it. This is the first time they are testing it. So the mentality of playing in the big stage is what many Arsenal players were lacking. Declan Rice, Gabriel Magalhaes, Bukayo Saka. How many finals have all these people played? Even if they play final, it should be in Europa League final or even Conference League final, which is not enough. These people have not played in the big stage before. So most of the time, these people were panicking. They were under pressure. If you watch the match very well, you see that PSG players were more calm. and more reserved, and then more technical. But Arsenal players were panicking. You see Saka was nowhere to be found. You see Trossard was nowhere to be found. When they introduced Martinelli, he couldn't change the game. Victor Gyökeres came in, he couldn't influence the game. Madueke came in, he couldn't influence the game. The only part of Arsenal squad that was functioning properly was the defenders. The midfield collapsed. The attack, we are not even going to talk about the attack at all, because the attack was total nonsense. So it is another issue that contributed to all these things. You understand? PSG, they are more experienced in terms of playing in finals, in terms of playing in the big stage. They are more experienced in doing that, unlike how it is with Arsenal. And then Mikel Arteta too, why he chose to defend is what I can't really tell. I don't know whether he couldn't learn it properly from his master, which is Pep Guardiola, that does not even defend. You understand? He doesn't defend. He believes that the best form of defense is to attack. As you are scoring, continue attacking so that you score more. If you score up to 4 goals now, like PSG did against Inter Milan, what will your opponent play again? You have actually silenced them. Like you have silenced them wholesomely, which is another fault that I noticed in the game. Though Arsenal, they actually put up a good performance. You know, when the season started, if anybody had told any Arsenal player or any Arsenal fan that at this stage Arsenal will be playing in the UEFA Champions League final, or that Arsenal will be lifting the EPL title, they wouldn't have believed it. It's not like the season of Arsenal ended well. Just like the joy that they have in winning the Premier League title got spoiled by losing against PSG in the finals of UEFA Champions League. But that doesn't take away the fact that Arsenal still has a good season, the champions of England, and then they were able to make it to the finals of UEFA Champions League. So it is still something to write home about. It is still a positive addition to the value of Arsenal. So we must take it, we must accept it that way. And then PSG, on the other hand, I must congratulate Luis Enrique. Like he's currently the best manager in the whole wide world right now. He's the best manager. The way he has been able to develop and structure PSG, to the extent that they are now threats. The way he picked up players, and then his coaching philosophy is just a top notch. So I'm making a very big shout out to PSG and also to Luis Enrique. And then talking about the fouls that were committed, the death of Mosquera, it is somehow raising dust. Because many Arsenal fans believe that it is not supposed to be a penalty, that the decision of the referee wasn't actually favorable to them. But to you, what you saw there, was it a penalty or was it not a penalty? Because for me, it was a clear penalty. Like, it is not even arguable. Nobody can even argue it, because it was clear. It happened before each and every one of us, and then we saw it that it was a penalty. And then maybe some of you that are saying that thing are now used to how Premier League officials used to favor Arsenal, to the extent that you expect them to overlook such thing for you just because it is Champions League final, forgetting that Bukayo Saka actually had the ball on his hand, but the referee refused to see it as foul. He just allowed the game to go on, forgetting that thing too. So the referee, he also did a good job in the this thing. And then I must commend the defense of PSG. You see Marquinhos, you see Patrick Williams, you see Nuno Mendes. These people, they actually held down Arsenal, because anytime that Arsenal has corner, I will be like, I know what Arsenal can do anytime that has to do with corner kick or anything like set piece. But in all of them, these people were still able to defend it. Arsenal's strength is set piece, and then the defense of PSG succeeded in holding down Arsenal whenever there is set piece for them. So I must applaud them. And then all the same, I'll continue to congratulate PSG for being able to retain their championship in Europe. It is not something small, and it is not every club that can do it. And then PSG has done it. So they have now won Champions League 2 times in a row, and then hopefully they might do it again come next season, because I'm here to see, outside Bayern Munich, I'm here to see a serious contender coming from any other club. maybe Bayern Munich or Barcelona, because the way Barcelona is a kind of restructuring now, something positive might come out of Barcelona as it has to do with UEFA Champions League. But all the same, we hope and believe that PSG will be able to still sustain it again for the third time.